So let's get right into it. We're about to look at an ancient piece of wisdom, but not as some dusty old philosophy. Think of it more like an operating manual for your own mind, a kind of hidden code that can help you deal with the crazy stress of modern life.
Just let that sink in for a moment. All our lives, we're told to manage our feelings, to just grit our teeth and control them with willpower. But what if that whole idea is the very thing keeping us stuck?
You know the feeling, right? We've all been there. That one comment lands and bam, suddenly your face is hot, your heart is hammering in your chest, and there's this tight knot in your stomach. It's like one little thing just completely hijacks your whole system. And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? How can something out there have so much power over what's happening in here? The real issue isn't what your boss said. It's the lightning-fast, totally automatic chain reaction that it sets off inside you, a process we're not even aware of.
Okay, so to really get a handle on this, we need to kind of slow down time and look at a single moment in super slow motion. We're gonna break it down into 5 layers. And you know what? Let's forget about the stressful boss for a minute and use a much nicer example, like the smell of fresh bread. The very first layer is what this ancient manual calls form. This is just the raw physical data. It's the actual scent particles in the air, the sight of the bakery, the nose on your face. It's just stuff. The objective world before our brain has stamped any meaning on it. Now, instantly, and I mean instantly, layer 2 kicks in, feeling. And this isn't a big, complicated emotion. It's that immediate gut-level hit, pleasant, unpleasant, or just kind of neutral. It's the, that happens before you can even think the words, that smells good. And right on its heels is the big one, layer 3, perception. Oh man, this is where your brain's inner storyteller just goes to town. It starts labeling, judging, creating a whole narrative. Hey, is that new bakery? I'm kind of hungry. I should probably go buy some. A whole story from just a smell. And that story immediately creates layer 4, formation. This is that impulse, that inner urge to do something about the story. It's that powerful, subconscious little engine inside that starts revving up and saying, go get the bread, let's do it. And finally, the 5th layer is consciousness. This is basically the awareness that wraps all those other 4 layers up into one neat little package. It's the part that creates the sense of I. It's what says, I smell bread, I like it, and I want to buy it. We think this whole package is a solid being called me, but really, it's just these 5 processes happening in the blink of an eye. Okay, so that's the blueprint. But how in the world do we use this operating manual when we're actually in the heat of the moment, with our boss staring at us? Well, this is where it gets really practical. Let's see how these 5 layers become 5 steps to disarm stress. The whole trick is to shift from being caught in the storm to becoming the one who's watching the storm. So here's how you do it. Step 1, just observe your body. Notice the physical stuff, your heart racing, your hands clenching, but without judging it. Step 2, observe the raw feeling. Just put a name on it. Ah, this is anger. Okay, this is shame. Step 3, observe your thoughts. See those stories your mind is spinning. This is so unfair, and just let them drift by like clouds. Don't grab onto them. Step 4, observe the impulse. Feel that massive urge to lash out or run away, but just notice it's there without acting on it. And finally, step 5. As you watch all this, you notice something else. You become aware of the awareness itself, that calm, quiet space in the background that's watching the whole drama unfold. And when you practice this, something really amazing happens. You get this aha moment. It's a huge shift in how you see yourself, and it changes, well, pretty much everything. You go from I am angry to I am aware of anger. See the difference? It's huge. I am angry feels like a prison cell. It defines your whole identity in that moment. But I am aware of anger. Now there's space. The anger is just something happening over there, and you're the one who's aware of it. It's not you anymore. All these feelings, thoughts, and sensations, they're like the weather. Seriously, there's storms that just roll through. But you are not the storm. You are the sky. You're the vast open space that holds the storm, lets it rage, and is still there, completely untouched when it passes. This is the real meaning behind that tricky word emptiness you hear sometimes. It doesn't mean nothing is there. It just means nothing is permanent or solid. Your anger feels incredibly real, right? Just like a rainbow is vivid and real. But you can't grab it. You can't hold on to it. It's a fleeting process, not a solid thing. So to wrap all this up, I want to leave you with a little Zen story. It's a perfect little piece of code that kinda says it all. Okay, so a master and student are out for a walk, and a flock of wild geese flies right over their heads. The master turns to the student and asks, where did they go? The student, watching them disappear, says, well, they've flown away. And right then, the master grabs the student's nose and gives it a sharp, painful twist. The student yells, ouch! And the master looks at him and says, you say they have flown away, but this has always been here. The geese, the external event, the passing thought, the feeling, they're gone. But the sharp, undeniable awareness of the pain in his nose, that presence, that's never left. It's always, always right here. Think about it. Everything you experience, every single thought, every emotion, every moment is just like those geese, constantly flying by. So the question to leave with is, what is that part of you that's always here? What is it that's watching it all pass?